What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Sporgum. Before we get into this video, guys, I want to give a big shout out to Snow, who is another YouTuber that does cover Kofas. I highly recommend you guys check out her most recent video where she scores 2.4 trillion in the Alexandrite event. That's right, you heard me say it correctly, guys. 2.4 trillion. And I watched that video and I was just in utter awe. And the reason is for twofold, guys, for two things, right? There's going to be, she's going to be using Limitless pretty ridiculously, and also is going to be using this character right here in Bison. Bison is actually pretty amazing, but he's even more amazing if you have a certain card. I will put a link to our video in the description below so you guys can check out that 2.4 trillion run in the Alexandrite event, but I gotta highlight this because this is pretty freaking nuts. So, not too long ago, guys, we ended up getting certain cards in the game, certain option cards that we could spend rubies on. And this card here is actually one broken, ridiculous card because, the HP is fine, the combat isn't a big deal, but this is really where it's at. When All-Star Fighters are in auto mode, increases own basic attack damage by 800%. Now, initially, when I first saw this, I thought, that's not really that great. Wow. Pretty much. That's pretty much what I'm doing to myself right now. I am pretty much kicking myself in the face for not pulling this card because this is the reason. This is the big reason why Snow was able to get that 2.4 trillion run. Bison with this card, guys, is ridiculous. Amongst other things that I'm going to show you guys. Like, this thing is so stupid. And this other card here, honestly, guys, I've used it. Sometimes it seems like I get better damage. Sometimes I don't. And this one does increase defenses, which is actually decent for Bison, even though he doesn't have any defensive buffs. But, whenever you're in auto mode, it has the same effect as EX Rugal, where you're unable to use your skills. They'll just use their active skills over and over and over. And I thought this would be more OP, but actually, it's not. Actually, the My card is actually a whole lot better and a whole lot stronger in this event. Now, let me show you guys the build, all right? And I'll show you guys the run. Oh, we just hit a reset. Nice. Nice, nice. Come on, get off this crap. All right, so this is the team that we're going to be using. Now, we're going to be highlighting Mina here because Mina does have Limitless, guys. And also, we're going to be using Leona because of the Limitless. And I'm going to show you guys something pretty damn broken. And then also Bison. Now, here's something that's pretty wild. And something that I didn't even think about initially is that this card set can actually be very beneficial, especially to a defensive character. Now, why is that? Well, it does increase their combat power, and this works on any defensive fighter, which is pretty cool. But check this out. So it increases own attack by 175% of defense, right? So Bison has a lot of defense already in his kit. He doesn't have any buffs based off defense, but he has a lot of defense, and this is just going to increase his attack having this card set on him. This doesn't apply to EX characters. It applies to EX characters, but it applies to all defensive characters, right? It applies to, actually, this applies to all characters, but then the critical rate by 12% when a defensive fighter lands a skill. So again, Bison takes full advantage of this and he gets that critical rate buff. And he doesn't get the critical damage buff because this is only for extreme fighters, but check this out. Increase attack by 30% when landing a skill on a chilled target, up to 120%. So if there is a chilled target in front of, say, Bison, because we're using this card set on him, he's going to get these buffs. And if you had that My card, guys, it would just be redonkulous. But even without the My card, this card set on him is actually very good, especially if you put a Zhongfei card on him. This option card actually showed up from the Street Fighter collaboration. I know a lot of you guys don't have this, but I'm actually really making this video really for future references, just to let you guys know that sometimes things aren't always what they seem. There's always more than meets the eye regarding these card sets, right? Initially I just thought maybe it was just good for Mai and Kula, but it's damn OP on Bison. It's actually ridiculous, right? Leona, we don't need to go into her kit. I've talked about her before. But Mina, another character I want to highlight in this video. Now, we're going to be using the Zhongfei card on her. I got a Zhongfei card on Leona as well, guys, because that's the only place we're going to be getting chill is from these Zhongfei cards on the first team. But Mina is really nice because she does have Limitless. She can stall the timer. but she also increases attack of all allies, guys. This is also really, really good. She also has an increased target damage received in her kit whenever you're switching her. So this is actually really, really awesome as well. On top of Leona, buffing up characters with her 1, 2, and 3rd skill, right? It's a really insane combo. And let me show you guys just what this team does. Now, this isn't going to be as broken as what Snow did because I don't have that my card. If I did, it would be a dramatically ridiculous difference, guys. It really would. It would be bonkers. But I'm going to show you something. So you're probably watching this and you're probably thinking to yourselves, okay, cool. You got 2 characters with Limitless. You just did the 3PG, and then you switched to Mina, right? And you notice that Mina's Limitless wasn't ready to go, right? Well, there's actually a little trick that I did to make sure that we don't use our Limitless whenever I'm not using the character, right? Because the idea with using 2 characters that have Limitless is that you're going to use one, use their Limitless, use their 3PG, switch to the next one, use their Limitless, and so on and so on. And that's exactly what you guys are watching. I am able to stall the timer tremendously by using 2 characters with Limitless and Bison doing tons and tons of damage, because believe it or not, Bison is the one doing most of the damage here, guys. He really is. Like, it is ridiculous. Leona doesn't have an advantage or a disadvantage in this stage, and you'll notice with Mina, whenever we're doing our damage with Mina, that it really isn't like insanity as far as damage. It's Bison is the one. He's an SS character. He gets a natural buff in here, and yeah, with that card set, he's just getting all those sweet attack buffs based off the defense that he has and the fact that we are going to have a chill target where he's going to be getting those extra attack buffs from the card set. It's pretty OP, guys. Like, it's really, really ridiculous, right? I mean, it is nice. And the funny story, guys, behind this is I was trying to do this over and over and over where I was using 2 characters with Limitless. And I just wasn't getting it done. I wasn't getting it done at all. And that's because there was something I forgot to do. Some simple little thing that, you really would smack yourself in the face for forgetting. And I definitely wanted to smack myself in the face for forgetting. And I'm going to show you guys that in a second. You're going to probably have a good laugh whenever I do show you. You're probably going to think to yourself, Fargo, Fargo, Fargo. You should have known that, bro. You should have known that. But yeah, sometimes, whenever you're playing, you're just in the moment. You just don't think about things. You know how it is, guys. It happens to all of us. It happens to the best of us, right? But as you guys can see, we're doing ridiculous, right? We're doing very, very well, and the timer has barely went down at all. Like, the timer is at 41 seconds, and we're at 106 billion. Now, that is around about 300 billion just with the first team, guys. Just with the first team, that's a good 300 billion is what these guys are going to be able to score. Right? And man, if I had Hauer, especially on that second team, having that green character with Limitless, with Shanae, oh my God, that would be just bonko. And that's something else, guys. Like this what I'm showing you here with 2 characters using both their EX cores. You can do this with other characters like EX Iori with the red team, with Maisie, switching between Mai and Iori and all that. And I'll show you guys exactly what you need to do to make sure you can do that. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, this is wild as hell. The only thing I don't like about it is that it is one elongated match and it takes an eternity to do. And there's always a bunch of RNG in these damn things, and that can be pretty freaking annoying. And once again, guys, I said, we were on pace about 300 billion. Look at that. Right? We're at 31 seconds. We're going to hit about 150 billion right now, so we are still on that 300 billion run. right? I know it's not 2.4 trillion, but I mean, it's still a really good score, right? It's still a really good score. I'm still going to get all the rewards out of here. And I know that a lot of players are going to watch this and they're going to be like, man, bro, there's no, like, this is whale territory. We don't have, you know, a couple A5 characters with Limitless and so on. Guys, I guarantee if you play for a long time or play for a good while, you would have it, man. I got A5 characters galore on my free-to-play account. down. It just takes time. Unfortunately for a newer player right now, they're just not going to be able to do it because they haven't had enough time to play the game, to rack up enough rubies, playing enough banners, or pulling enough banners to get those characters leveled up. And that's why I always tell you guys, just save and save and save. And there's a good chance, guys, we'll probably have a collaboration after this. And if one of those characters has Limitless, I mean, I would probably recommend you guys to go for it. I really would. I don't think it would really even matter what color they are, because you see how broken it is. Even with one character with it, just one character, it is ridiculous. Because say you have one character with Limitless, and then you had another character like just with a regular EX core, like say with Concentration. Well, you could use the character with Limitless, stall the timer, switch to your character with the Concentration core, start melting down, and then switch back to your character with Limitless and do it again, and stall the timer again. Right? You will be able to do more damage over time throughout the fight, right? Which is pretty damn cool. I mean, yeah, this is it's wild. By the way, guys, something about Mina that I did notice, and it's kind of like, it's good and it's bad. Whenever you're playing with Mina, if you do the third skill and then the default, you'll do more damage. However, you won't stall the timer as much because you'd be using that third skill. And I've found it really just depends on the RNG as to whether or not which is actually better. I had runs where I would do the default and then I would do the third skill, and then I had runs where I would just do the default where the damage was pretty similar. So it was, like the way that I'm doing it right now, I'm really just relying on Bison to do all of the damage. And guys, Bison isn't the only character you could use here. You could use SS Mai, use her leadership, guys. The increase the female fighters, right? You have Terry. Terry does have SS Terry. Terry does have Burn Explosion, right? He's a red character, but he has a terrific leadership for attack type fighters, and he's really, really strong. You could use him. I mean, he's going to remove the burn. That's going to kind of suck, but he can still put in work, still do a lot of damn damage, right? You don't have to use Bison. It's just Bison being a defensive character, guys. He benefits from that card set. It helps tremendously. It helps tremendously on an SS character, getting all those extra buffs. That's kind of the thing about this, right? So like if you use a defensive character, right, then the card set can really benefit them. And this is something to really keep in mind. Like if you put that card set on a defensive character, an SS defensive character on the second team, well, you'd probably do more damage. You'd probably help you out a little bit. Right? I mean, there's definitely going to be situations where you're going to be using Kula, the new Kula, EX Kula, and having that card set would be the best for her, obviously, or the new Maisie, right? But I'm just throwing this out there, guys. Like that thing really did help a lot. And I did notice whenever I took the card set off of Bison, I did less damage in here, right? I did less damage. I got around, thank you so much for the subscription, I got around, 250 billion without the card set. And when I put the card set on Bison, you see the damage numbers now. You see how much damage we're actually doing now. And we're hitting, 300 billion, guys. Look at that, right? That is ridiculous, right? That is ridiculous. And in order to get that EX memory, to get all the shards, to change the EX memory to what you want, you need 243 billion a day, which is really a lot. Honestly, I really wish Netmarble wouldn't have made it so high, but 305 billion, guys, from the first team. Now, I use Lung, and I use her first and third skill to get that increased target damage received, and then I started using Shanae and just trying to do as much damage with him as possible. Now, Shanae is a very good character here because he does have Burn and Chill. He's freaking awesome. The thing about him that's kind of annoying is that sometimes when he's doing his basic attacks, he kind of passes through Alexandra. It's kind of weird. He jumps over to the other side, and you got to always kind of make sure you're attacking. But his damage is terrific, guys, especially when you're doing your basic attack damage, because that's really where his damage is at. That is where it's at, is from his basic attack damage. I almost wonder if I would just use his regular EX core, his other one, where it increases some buffs, if that would have been better instead of using this EX core, right? But as you guys can see, like, he starts doing some really, really good damage. It's just, you need to really be dodging and getting on the other side of Alexandrite, so that way, you don't get feared, you don't get stunned, you don't get caught in some kind of damn CC, because that is kind of a caveat, right? And of course, anytime you get the 3PG off, you want to use the damn thing. Nice, nice, nice. Like, Yeah, I mean, 347, 350 billion, guys. Pretty nuts. Pretty wild score. It's not 2.4 trillion, but it is still a very good score. 365 billion, guys. 365 billion is no joke. That is an insane score. Now, let me show you guys the trick to always making sure that that one character doesn't use limitless when you don't want them to, or when one character uses an EX score when you don't want them to. Make sure that you just come in here and go into the settings and go into awaken skill auto use. Turn that off. All you got to do is just turn that crap off, and then you will avoid your characters using their EX core. And yeah, I pretty much was smacking myself in the face because I had this on the whole time before. And what happens is, one character, like if I use Leona and then I use her Limitless, well, the other character will already use their Awakened skill. And if they use their Awakened skill, then their Limitless is gone or their EX core is gone. So make sure that you turn this off. If you are using two characters with their EX cores, that's really going to help you tremendously. So guys, let me know what you think about the brokenness of Limitless. Let me know how y'all doing in the game. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT plus 7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.